Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey Podcast, episode 295, on remote, KOH 2025. Studio, we're going to call this TC, Chris.
Yes.
TC. You know what that stands for?
I do.
The Coop.
The Coop.
On the lake bed, huh?
The remote Coop.
All right, so that gives a little insight. We've got Shannon and Jess here, and we've got Chris Ray. So, yeah. Welcome to the podcast, guys. How we doing?
Excellent. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're having us. We're in your place right now.
Bye. Drinking
your whiskey. So.
That's right. I love to share.
So do we. Absolutely. Let's just get right into it. We'll start out with Shannon and Jess. We talked to Chris, about 5 podcasts ago?
Yeah, it was within
6
the last month or two.
ago. Yeah, it was pretty recent. When we found out that you were going to be right seat with one of your heroes.
Yeah, I was actually right after Thanksgiving.
Low standards, that guy.
Low standards, yes, low standards. Come on now. So, Shannon and Jess, you guys just making it happen, man. It seems like you got the YouTube channel going now that's like been super popular. A lot of downloads, huh?
We just been having fun with it, and she don't really like the editing so much.
There's
She's
a
like,
lot.
I mean, a lot of people don't get to see her just like, oh my god, whatever, this dang crap, but it's gotten funner, and she's figured out some stuff, and you guys know I don't know anything about editing or even turning a computer on, and she's just always like, oh my, but she's getting used to it, and
It is a challenge, yeah.
It's time-consuming.
It's very time-consuming. I don't think a lot of people realize how much time goes into it. They think you just take a video and put it out there and it's there for you, but obviously that's not entirely true. But we are learning to have a lot of fun with it, and it is fun getting the interaction from people actually all over the place. Today, for instance, I was reading a comment on, I think it was one of the live streams we did. Somebody was watching it on a bus in Jamaica on the way to a resort that they were vacationing to.
Isn't that wild?
Yes, it really is. It's really neat, but we certainly appreciate all of that.
Right. Yeah, I was like, when we started this podcast, it blew me away when people from South Africa and stuff are listening. There's downloads from there, and I'm like, what? And then places that don't even speak English as their native language, there's downloads there, and it's like, well, that's pretty cool.
It really is. Yeah, we have the same, where they're getting the subtitles in another language. We've had requests from people, because we have to set that also on our YouTube channel,
Okay.
the subtitles, what languages they can be, in. And so we've had I think somebody in Chile was asking us for a subtitle. I just really can't even recall.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, it's great. You guys lead a pretty exciting lifestyle, even though you kind of downplay it a little bit there, Shannon. But your skills, what's cool, and I think that's what kind of pushed you to do it. You were saying is that people want to see your fabrication skills because you don't have a CNC mill, lathe, plasma table, all that stuff. You're the every guy mechanic that we can all relate to, just working with what they got.
yeah, I don't know why people want to watch me work, to tell you the truth, but it started from I was just doing stories, and people kept saying, man, can you make it where we can see them? And I'm like, well, I don't know how to do that. And I'd talk to her, and someone's like, you just need to start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, well, what's that? I didn't know what a
You
channel was.
honestly didn't know,
no,
yeah.
I've got on YouTube, and like, how do you change a fuel filter on this? And I
Sure.
just talked to my phone, and oh, that's how you do it? Well, I thought that's what it was. I didn't know that there was actually movies, and
Gotcha.
So since September, since we started this, I've learned a lot more about it, and Jess has taught me. Jess reads, I don't read. I'm like, I don't have time for that, and I like to be read too. I'm like a kindergartner, And
He likes pictures.
picture book.
Exactly, my favorite. I'm working on a book of Jess.
There you go. Oh, there you go. There you go. Freaking.
Oh,
love
I
it.
don't think so.
Oh yeah, I have it. I'm gonna make it, and you're not even gonna know it.
Oh boy.
You heard it here on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Oh boy. Coffee table book.
Exactly.
No, it is. It's cool watching that. Now, are you shooting this on your camera, like your phone, or are you using? You're just using your phone.
Yeah.
You're just videotaping from your.
And I've talked to some other people, and I think it's easier from a GoPro and stuff. And like just since we left, or this last few weeks or whatever, someone said something about doing live stuff, and I kind of just picked around and asked, and Jess has done some research, and we got a GoPro on the car now, and I've got internet on the race car, so we've been going live a couple of times just randomly, when I'm pre-running and stuff, and people love it, I guess.
Yeah.
We get so
absolutely.
much response out of it, and it's cool, but I don't really know nothing about it. I get her to turn the buttons on, and I go be myself and
Go do your thing.
yeah.
So when you're in the shop, though, I mean, you're like fabricating. Is somebody there filming you, or do you have the camera set up on a tripod, or what? You got a tripod.
Sometimes Jess will come in from work, or if she's there, she'll film me or whatever. But I try to move it around and talk, and just do whatever.
Okay.
But most of the time, I'm just holding it while I'm doing something, so I'm one-handing stuff
Yeah.
and trying to get it where people, because a lot of people if I was wanting to learn, I would want to see how you do it, not all the BS in between. But to tell you the truth, people have been messaging me, we want to see it all, everything,
Yeah.
not just like the end. And it's not just the end version. I show what I'm doing, but they like all the dumb filler that's just in there, I feel like, and that's the longer videos. So I'm like, all right, I'm not even gonna edit them. Just
Yeah.
you get what I get.
Well, you can always fast forward it too, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But people want long videos. I'm like, okay.
Well, every time yours come out, that's what I just watch YouTube videos at night when I'm eating dinner in front of the TV there, and so I'm always looking forward to what's the latest coming out of the coop here. What do you guys got?
And you just never know.
You never know. You never know. And
It
there's
is filtered. They slapped my hand a couple of times. Like, you can't put that on there.
Yeah, Shannon has a bit of a learning curve when it
Sure.
comes to that. I'm telling
Sure.
him, like, for instance, the other day he's live streaming from the car, and all of a sudden I can hear some choice words coming out of his mouth, and I call him on the phone, and I'm like, hey, babe, you either need to shut the live
Turn
stream
it
off,
off.
or I'm going to have to wash your mouth out with soap. And then he knew what that meant.
That's awesome.
There you go. Yeah, well, this live streaming thing, I hope it happens during the race, because that's gonna be super fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it started. It kicks out every now and then. Like if we do something, we haven't figured it out totally.
I think we actually have today.
Starting it.
Yeah, John had mentioned that you probably need to wait to start the camera until after the car is started.
Yeah, because it kicks it off.
It sucks the power.
It's easy to get back on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is, but it's time consuming. We won't have time to stop once we start racing.
No, not at all.
Pull over and start the live stream. Stop what you're doing.
What are they doing? Oh,
They're fixing
Chris is
this.
resetting the live stream, and he's getting a beer. No.
For all those listening in the future, you probably already heard it already, but thanks to Rugged Radios, we are going to have
You're
in-car
gonna have comms?
communication on
No.
the live show.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
we've got all the right
We're not
cables
sure
and
we're
everything
gonna
like
do that.
So, yeah.
I was deciding that today while he was out. And if you look up there and read that sign,
Yeah, you're in charge.
that's right.
You're in charge.
Freeborn brought that today. He's the one that made the posters for us and stuff.
That's
It's like,
cool.
oh my god, that's funny.
That's
She
great.
is the boss.
The boss.
She holds all the power.
There you go. There you go.
Can we get autographed ones of those?
You bet.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, so it's crazy. Just you guys have just launched into the 2025 here with all the media and everything, and it's great because how long have you been racing for? I mean, it's going way back.
I mean,
you're one of the
Ultra
OGs.
4, I've been here since the second year.
Yeah.
But racing, my first event I ever did not professionally, but was Top Truck in '96.
That's right. Okay.
And then after that, I somehow weaseled my way into kind of desert racing, like at a not score level, but it was like a local event, Arizona Whiplash or whatever. And then, I don't know, '97, I think, rock crawling kind of came about. And I mean, we were wheeling since I was, I don't know, a teenager.
Sure.
We'd go wheeling every weekend, but that was just for fun. And it kind of led me into racing. And my dad raced back in the '70s, with Walker Evans and Parnelli. And I remember he was good friends with all them guys, you know what I mean? I remember as a kid going and hanging out at Riverside or Parker 400,
Sure.
and so I was around it my whole life. And then my dad got out of it as we were probably about 12 or something like that. And it was just always one of them things I always wanted to do. And the rock crawling kind of led me back, to something, and then back into racing, and my dad, he was very smart and always knew. He taught us as kids how to make junk. He called it making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
There you go.
That's kind of where the name came from and
Yeah.
stuff. So, yeah, we're just little fabricating fools. Every time my dad would go to work, me and my brother, we'd go in the shop and get all the cool stuff like the Heim joints. And I remember us building bicycle trailers and making hitches with Heim joints and
Really?
just random junk, And then before my dad would get home, we'd take all that junk and we'd hide it out back or whatever. And so he didn't see all the stuff we used out of his shop. And we'd shut the shop door down like no one was in there. And but
Put all the tools back exactly
Yeah,
where they were
yeah.
from. Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
yeah, he'd be like, "Where's this?" I don't know, Dad. And then one day he's seen our contraptions and, what in the hell are you guys doing with all my stuff? But yeah, so
And then it leads to what's sitting behind you.
yeah, and we just lost my dad right after the wedding,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and he taught us a lot. It was pretty
Yeah.
badass, all the stuff. And he raced with me. I remember my first off-road race. I was going to help a friend, and he's like, "Well, hell, why don't you just race Pinky?" It was a Jeep that we had built that was actually, I built it for him, and he said, "Let's just throw another shock on it." It had single shocks. Throw another shock on it and do some stuff. And we went and raced this 250 down in Rocky Point, and I remember my dad riding with me, and just so much crazy stories, And I remember one of the things that sparks memories about it is this guy comes up to me at the start line and he goes, "How do you want it?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "You want it in the ass or you want the horn?" And I was like, I didn't understand what he was saying, And my dad, he pushed me out of the way and he goes, "I'll tell you what." He goes, "You give us the horn because you hit me in the ass and you ain't gonna have no teeth left or something." And I was like, "Oh, that's what he's talking about
to
ramming
pass?
us."
Yeah.
Because we were in a Jeep and he was in a Class 8 truck and he was kind of a cocky guy. And
Oh, jeez.
my dad pretty much told him off and just laughed because my dad, he was quite fun. He didn't put up with no shit.
The apple didn't fall far from the tree.
No. So we'd start that race, and I remember as soon as we took off, the guy finally caught us, and we pulled over and let him by, and it wasn't even a mile after that. He was broke on the side, and my dad flipped him off as we drove by and honked the horn and shit. And then me and my dad ended up winning that race.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
And that guy was at the finish line. My dad was just giving him all kinds of shit. And, I mean, we all drank in the end and had
Sure.
a good time, but it was pretty funny and just so many stories like that.
That's awesome. And then you built the Land Cruiser, right?
Yeah,
you built
in 2005, I think we started building that, me and my brother, and we built it for my dad. And at the time, that was when I first picked up Monster, was in 2006. So we put all of our sponsors on it, and I would use it for events and shows when I needed to do something. And then, my dad and my brother and we took it to Rubicon and
Sure.
Moab, and then he would take it hunting and stuff. And yeah, so
that's cool. So you got that rig now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, when he passed, he left it to me and my brother, and he was wanting us to sell it forever, and me and my brother were just like,
No.
we ain't gonna sell that.
Yeah.
And he was wanting us to get the money so we could pay our business off, and we didn't care about that. It was more sentimental. It
Right.
was pretty
Absolutely.
cool.
The sentimental value. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Right on. Right on. And then there's another rig in the works, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a grill for it and a title.
I saw that. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be like a Scrambler, CJ8. That's
Oh,
what our
cool.
license plate says, Coupe
Yeah.
CJ8.
I like that.
I'm going to buy side skins. It'll be all handmade body and everything, but I just buy the replacement panels from like one of the aftermarket companies, and then I'll make the floor and move the wheel well back. I mean, it'll be very trick, and I just built Caprera one over the last couple of years, and
Yeah, that's a badass
such a
rig.
beautiful car. And he was just telling me today, he goes, man, I love it. It was his first Jeep that he had ever bought in high school, and he brought it to me, and he's like, Shannon, I just want you to do whatever you do to it. And I said, well, when he brought it, I'm like, I'd throw it away and start over. And he's like, oh, man, it's my first Jeep. It's sentimental. And
Sure.
he goes, I think I've built it like 10 times, but he goes, I just want you to do it one more time. And
Do it right.
yeah, and I was like, all right, yeah. So we got it up and everything. And so after I built that, I just fell in love with it. And I want to build something like that for us to have. And I mean, I've got my dad's where I can use it and do all this stuff, but I want something built for us that we really enjoy, overland type stuff, rock crawl it, whatever. And then drive it down the street.
Yeah. Drive to and from the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
For sure.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Out of all these minus race car stuff, builds that you've done before, what any of them that stick out? One that you really liked, one you hated to sell or get rid
I
of?
hated to sell all of them, but I could never afford anything, so I had to sell everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like if I wanted to do something new, and back then nothing was really sentimental. But just recently I had the very first Jeep I ever built.
How
in
cool
like
was that?
91. A friend of mine, I worked for his uncle forever. My dad worked for him, and before I had this job, and I worked for a place. It was Zeb Pierce Distributing. It was a Coors distributor, and the owners, they were very cool. And that's another way I learned how to do a lot of fabrication. Was my dad ran that company, and he brought me in, and I would go out and do service calls and stuff, and then the owners found out that I could paint and do cool hot rod work. So I just basically, they wanted me to work on their hot rods and all this stuff all the time, and I worked for them. Well, the one guy, one of the owners, he bought it from me because he knew I was selling it so I could buy my first house.
Oh, wow.
And he collected cars, and he's got a bunch of cars and had money. He took it and put it on stands, and I think he drove it maybe 50 miles, and it was mint condition and set for, I don't know, I sold it in 92 or 3 or something like that. I can't remember, but he sold it to his nephew for 10 grand is what I sold it to him for, and he sold it to his nephew for 10 grand, and his nephew brought it by, and he's like, check out what I got. And I was like, oh my God, you're killing me. I said, I'll give you whatever you want for it, and he was gonna sell it to me, and then he's like, no, I can't. He goes, but if I ever do, I'll sell it to you. And he took it, and he used it and just didn't take care of it, left it sit outside, and I mean the seats and everything, it looked like a brand new vehicle from when I had it.
Oh, man.
He just let it get crappy, and it's still a nice vehicle, and everything on it. I mean, back then no one built frames, and it was a completely handmade frame, and I stretched the hood, skinned out the tub, and made my own floor and everything, and it was just a cool vehicle, and it had a full cage, just like a race car structure in it, and so it's very sentimental. And when he brought that by to work on it, I was just like, I was sad because it was just looked like crap, and I kind of told Jess, I said, man, maybe I can just get him to sell it to me. And I drove it around. He brought it up, and I worked on it, and I'd drive it every day and do stuff, and I was like, man, this thing just drives so badass. It was such a cool vehicle. And yeah, he's like, no, I'm not selling it. But when I do, I'm like, get out of here. I'll just make my own. So that's when we decided,
So that's it. Okay.
But the first one, I mean, and there was a few of them, and more vehicles. I love them all, but I've had to sell them all to do what I do.
Right. Move on to the next project. Bigger and better.
Yeah.
So let's get into the race car a little bit here, because you've done quite a few of these chassis, and this one is the culmination of all your years of experience. You pulled out a lot of tricks on this one.
Yeah, I had some help. You know, a lot of the base ideas were stuff that I had designed over the years, and I used to hand make everything. And Matt Taylor, he's been drawing a bunch of stuff for us over the years, like just trying to make it easier to mass produce them. And really, it's faster for me to hand make it, but the whole computer thing is nice because it just, you get the stuff and it fits. You know, it's like a fixture. And I built 2 of these last year, one for Ken Goodall and one for me, and there is some really cool things on it, you know. And it's a big car. It's not something I'm used to, but it really drives and works good. I took it to Crandon and was pretty impressed on how that heavy of a car would work. But I'm feeling pretty happy about it. It is a big car, but a lot of these cars are they're getting bigger out here. So
Sure.
And I feel like it works very good. It's just, hopefully it stays together.
Yeah, and motor issues are taken care of. Things are working there.
Some of that was
Knock on
my
wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Some of that was my problem, you know what I mean? And then some of it was just random stuff, and I feel like we're solid. We got good oiling, good oil pressure. We changed a bunch of things in the oil pan, and you put a knife edge crank in it just to keep it from splashing.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Just so much little things, and it's got killer oil pressure now and works good, and I'm happy. So
Right
I'm hoping, cross my fingers, that everything just stays together.
Hell yeah.
Especially after beating on it all week, you know what I mean? Trying to get through and figure out all this stuff.
So how has pre-running been going?
The first day we were having fun. We mobbed it up Jack and passing people and going through them, and then we got over on this one little trail. I don't remember what the trail was.
It's just past the Third Canyon of Sledge.
Yeah, so we get on that, and we're doing this thing, and it wasn't going this way, so I went that way, and we went back this way, and I started mobbing on it, and he's like, "You want me to get out?" And I said, let me give it one more shot. And I stood it up there and got it on this big finger and broke the drive shaft in half. And
Whoops.
yeah, it was quite interesting, and we got it out of there, though, got it fixed and pretty quickly, and went back out and went back up it and moved on with our next trail or whatever. But other than that, everything's been going pretty smooth. I think everything's looking good so far.
Right on. And how's the adjustment having a passenger? Because you've been
tell you
single
the truth,
seat for
I've
years.
always been against it, but these last few years, I'm like, it started in the UTV when Jason Berger was riding
Right.
with me, and I'm like, this is pretty fun. I mean, me and him, we wouldn't even really talk about the race. We'd talk about life and just dumb things. You know what I mean? We're just jamming out there and having fun. And I was like, man, this is pretty fun. And and then I've rode in the UTV with her, and it's having her as a co-driver has been fun, but she don't want anything to do with this. She's like, you guys are, what the heck is wrong with you? This is dumb. I mean,
See, she's smart.
Right?
she likes the woods races and stuff where you're just zipping in and out of the trees and stuff. But yeah, this is brutal. It's just like being in a paint shaker all day or whatever. And,
Good analogy.
But
That's a
now,
great analogy.
having someone that actually, like when I first came out here at the beginning of December to just shake the car down and get a test with Chris, I was just blown away that how efficient he was. And I told Jess when we left, I said, shit, I could probably just drive with my eyes shut. And he tells me everything, and I said it'd be nice, and I can't wait. So yeah, having someone that really knows the area, he's been in I don't know how many cars in every race, so he's just got notes on everything, and he's fun to be around, and he's not lazy or nothing,
Right.
So I hit a gold mine with him. So
Right on. Well, that's a good intro for you, segue here. What do you think of all that, Chris?
It's kind of hard to hear, honestly, because I don't think that I'm doing anything special. I'm in awe that I even get to sit in the wrong seat for him, and just gonna do as best as I can and hope for the best. If the race god's smiling on us and we can keep a rear drive shaft in that car, there's a really high likelihood that we're gonna be on the top of the box come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, 6 days from now.
Yeah. But you know, it's been
we got 6 more days.
it's been an absolutely awesome experience getting to see how he drives. And when we first came out in December, you could tell that he wasn't used to having somebody that would like make calls for him, because as soon as I'd come on the microphone to start saying, "Oh, you got cross grain in 750 feet," you could hear the motor just stop because he's letting his off throttle, saying, "Oh crap, something must be happening." He's talking to me.
Yeah.
And so over the last 3 or 4 days that we've actually been able to get in the car, now you can tell he's starting to hear those key words like 250 feet, or he's hearing that something's coming up, but I didn't tell him anything before. It's the first time that I've talked to him in a while, and so he's not making the immediate, "Oh shit, I need to do something." It's when Chris tells me that I need to do something, that's when I do it.
Gotcha.
And so it's been really cool to earn his trust over the last couple days.
Wow. That's cool.
And to know that I'm not going to be going backwards on course. Sheer can rest at ease, and all these people. I remember one time I turned around on course, and me and Sheer were going head on. I'm like, "What the hell's wrong with these idiots?" I was the idiot.
When you saw Kevin Sakalis 3 times on Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, I literally went up Wrecking Ball one year, and I slowed down because the dirt. My own dirt. I was like, couldn't see. The wind was blowing and stuff, and I stopped. And I look at my GPS, and I'm like, okay, I turn, and I'm trying to get back on the deal. Well, I just did a 180, didn't even know it, and there's the line. Because that's how dumb I am when it comes to. I just watch that line and I stay on it, and I'm like, I'm going back down right where I came from, and that's how focused I am that I don't realize that I just passed the same people standing there watching me, and I'm going down. I drop down Wrecking Ball, get back down to I had like a half-hour lead probably, and I get back down to where you go up to 10 Benders or whatever.
Bender Alley
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, somehow went up that way, and I remember getting on the radio, I'm like, where the hell am I? And I'm like, that's how dumb I am too. I'm like, I'm just getting on there, where am I? Like, anyone knows this is before trackers and everything. And Miller was riding with my daughter, I think, and he goes, "Well, Shannon, I don't know where you're at, but I'm thinking." I told him, what I was seeing, and he's like, "Maybe this is where you're at." And I'm like, but on my way down there, you know what I mean? I passed Kevin Sakalis, and I'm like, same thing. I'm like, man, what the hell's wrong with this guy's freaking going backwards? And then I get to another guy. I can't remember. There was someone else behind him. And then I turn around. I was like, hauled butt and passed him back and got back going where I was going. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm not good at direction.
I'm not gonna say that, but like, it's really fun to like. When we broke the drive shaft, we came back the same way. We went back to where we started.
Okay.
And we were there, like, we were at the top of the Sandhill bailout after the second canyon of Sledge at like 2:45, and we went back at 3:15. And he's like, "Wait, do I go left or right?" And I was like, "We were just here 45 minutes ago." So, yeah, it's definitely good to have somebody in the car for him to help him out with that.
Well, that's good. That's good. So you guys got how many hours would you say of running together now over the pre-run that you did out here?
Well, we've got 3 solid days at probably 4 to 5 hours a day.
Okay.
Because we're trying to not beat the car too much, and we accomplished all of the rock lap, without the desert lap, with the exception of outer limits, spooners, aftershock, and backdoor resolution, because they're on the race course.
Yeah.
The good thing is that resolution and backdoor are the same as they've been for the better part of everywhere. Spooners and outer limits. I need to get down into the bottom of spooners probably tomorrow or Tuesday, just because I've done it in rec wheeling, but I haven't done it in a race car in a while. But there's no VCPs or RCPs in aftershock, so we're going to take all my normal stuff, and we don't even get to play on the hard stuff on that one, which is really awesome. So, we've accomplished everything that we needed to accomplish, or were able to accomplish over the last 2 days.
Yeah,
3 days.
Well, it's hitting that. It sounds like you guys are hitting your stride now. You got good communication between each other. He's learning how you operate. You're learning how he operates, and figuring it out.
Yeah, he's the first driver that I've dialed it to 11, and he hasn't told me to shut up.
Really?
Yeah. So normally when I get into a car and or I start with a new driver, like I dial it way the hell up. Like, well, you have bumps in 1,000, bumps in 750, bumps in 500. You know, I'm giving them more information than I think anybody should ever want, because I want them to tell me, hey,
No,
that's too much.
too much. Shut the hell up.
I need you to dial it back, because you know, I want to know where their level is at, so that I can change my navigating to what they want.
You can adjust.
And he's literally one of the first drivers that I've ever been in the car with that, like, so far he hasn't told me, hey, that's too much.
Okay.
And so it's actually really cool, because I think that it's actually helping me perform better too, because I live in a realm of too much.
Well, there you go. There you go.
He's good, and I know I'm not going to get lost.
There you go. Got faith in you. That's awesome. Well, that's good. So, car's then pretty much dialed, and it sounds like you guys just got a little more pre-running to do, and then
Just shake it down and check it out and make sure everything's good to go. Make sure I don't need to change no parts or anything. And yeah, for the most part, I feel like we're sitting pretty good if we can just get through qualifying without tearing anything up, and then just prep it to race again and enjoy life for a few days.
there you go. So, what do you think of the qualifying course this year?
It's pretty rough. I mean, like, you can mob it through there. I told him, I said, we're just going to take care of our car, because I don't feel like working on it. And, you know, I'm not that fast of a qualifier compared to some of these guys, and I'm just going to kind of set a good pace where I feel like I'm comfortable and not going to tear up my car and not wreck it, hopefully. And yeah, we're just going to take what we get. I know it'll be better than what I had last year when I started like 60 something, and I lost it at the beginning, and I was like driving over people in turkey claw just trying to get through there, and
Monster trekking.
it was crazy.
So we actually talked about it today in the car. There's a right line that is shorter, but we're going to probably take a different line that might be a little bit longer, and it's because it's the safe get. It's a safe bet.
Safer.
It's not there. It's not unsafe to do the other line, but there's the possibility that if it goes, the risk versus reward isn't there.
Gotcha.
For us, for what we want to accomplish.
You know, we came down the hill today and qualifying around that corner and two-wheeled it around the corner, and I was like, oh.
Bicycled it?
Man, yeah, and it's not where you want to be rolling. It's
shit.
like the crappy part, and I mean, we were all right, but it was like, oh, that was kind of, I didn't feel like it was going to pop up.
Yeah, the worry is that if that was the pre-run pace, that if you hit that at race pace and you bike like that, you're not saving that one.
No.
And so the safe bet and the make sure you don't start 100th bet is to take a different little line.
Yeah.
That we found that works better for us.
Was it qualifying last year or 2 years ago when you rolled it? And
Yeah, that
ended
was
up on
2
a
years
2
ago.
years ago.
Chocolate
that was
Thunder.
spectacular. Chocolate
And
Thunder.
that one started out awesome. You know, I mobbed up that first little section, and then I got up on that ridge and was just kicking across there, and I hit, and at the time it had these breakers, and it broke the breakers. It hit so hard and shut it off, and somehow I figured it out and got it running again, and then I just lost it after that, and I was trying to send it, you know, and yeah.
Oh, you did. There was no trying.
There was no question. It was
Yeah.
full sin.
That video of you rolling at the top of the crest between Idle Issues and Her Problems was the video that I had to explain to my wife as to, yes, I'm getting in a car
This
with
is
him.
who I'm riding
It's
with?
going to be safe. I promise. I promise that was a fluke.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, whatever.
Then she found the video from, what was it, Missouri or Oklahoma or something, where you freaking flipped over the end over end in the whoops.
That was it. Bill's
Goes
in Kentucky. Yeah. Never lifted. I think I led that race for like 7 laps after I did in over in, and it ripped the master cylinder off, so it didn't have no brakes, and it was crazy.
Yeah. Every time for the last basically 3 months since I've been telling that I'm riding with Shannon Campbell, my wife's like, I don't know how you're alive, but please keep it that way.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go easy and smooth, and I think that's what it's gonna take for this race. You know, just as long as it is, and you know, like Dave said, he's wanting to make it where you have to think when you get out there. It's all, you know, it's not hard, but it's just something where your mind was never supposed to be, is what he's saying or whatever. But I think I got the right man for that.
There you go.
And as long as I got a full car when we get there, and I feel like we can have a good chance at bringing it home.
So, thoughts on this mysterious lap 3 that we don't find out till Friday afternoon now?
I'm excited because it means that I get to shine.
Advantage,
Good navigator,
Right.
Especially somebody that's familiar with the place and has wheeled around. I'm kind of bummed. I was really hoping that I was right with Sledge. When we did our last podcast, I made a prediction about what the race was going to be, and there was parts of it that I hit and other parts that I missed. I honestly thought that we were going to be doing Sledge on lap 3, so we went and pre-ran that today, thinking that it was going to be the connector. And then today during the driver's meeting, Dave said no Sledge, and I went,
Wow.
But I'm looking forward to it because the way that the course has to connect and everything like that, there's very specific canyons that have to be used, and I'm very fortunate that I have years and years of notes that I can rely on to help with all the connectors between that. Other people that might not have pre-ran don't have that.
Gotcha.
So I'm excited. I hope the course file is good. They did a lot better job this year with the course file. I didn't have to do a lot of edits to make it good, like I have the last 2 to 3 years. So that's been a real big positive. But with lap 3 getting released on Friday at noon, we are going to be going over it at the Wednesday meeting, so we'll know what it is. They put trail cams on the trails and said if you get anywhere close to them, you're for sure taking a rear start. If you mess with the trails in any form or fashion, you are highly likely DQ'd.
Wow.
So they are taking it very seriously.
Wait,
No
we get
pre-running.
close to the cameras?
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were going to do tomorrow, go find them.
Don't you threaten me
Go
with a
find
good time.
him and moon him.
Every angle.
Yeah, we'll get the military to help us. We
Yeah,
think someone's trying to set a bomb up on us out here. We need your help. No.
Wow. So I love it. One of the races that I got to participate in with Ben Napier was a race called the Outback Challenge out in Australia.
Yeah.
And you think that getting the race course Friday night or Friday at noon for a Saturday race is bad. They legitimately walk the start line and give you GPS coordinates, lat and long, and you have to go in and type them in manually and then create your own course based on those coordinates.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like we think we're kind of spoiled with the fact that we have a GPX or GPS file that we can follow. So there are ways that Dave and Ben and other race promoters in the United States could really start messing with us if they want. And I kind of relish the fact that I hope they do that because I get an absolute kick out of that.
Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, advantage Chris Ray.
It's not just me. There's
there's other guys out there for sure.
There are a lot of good navigators out there.
But for the sake of this podcast, advantage Chris Ray.
Yes.
And advantage Shannon Campbell.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, wow, that's cool. Anything else about the race? I got some other stuff I want to get into, but anything else race-wise between you two that you're thinking here for KOH 2025? No?
I can't really think of anything.
No?
I mean, the biggest thing is just keeping the car together and,
Yeah.
and keeping us moving forward. I think that with it being 225 miles, that I think is the longest race. And if it actually is 225 miles, there's been claims previously like 240, and then you take a look at the GPS file afterwards, and it's like 236 or something like that. Like, so, but the absolute length, and then the having to drive what you see, like that's one of the things that I've been pretty impressed with Shannon is, like he'll look at something and he might have like kind of a second guess sometimes, but 99% of the time he already knows what he's doing as soon as he sees it. And so he's a fantastic driver when it comes to that. So I think that that's a huge advantage for us. When it comes to that, and then the length of the race, obviously you watch him and Jess do all their morning workouts, you know that he's got the endurance to go the distance. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Good motivation there.
That's, damn good.
I love getting up and working out.
And by workout, use your phone.
Pretty much.
Oh, there you go. That's
It's
great.
the after workout, the workout. That
There you
helps
go,
me.
there
It
you
gets
go.
my heart rate up.
Censored. No.
Our listeners all know. They all know.
So, yeah, very cool. And the coop. So we were fortunate enough to be at your wedding, and that was
thank
a
you
hell
guys
of an
for coming.
event.
That's
Wow,
awesome.
it was awesome. I was like, hey, we got to go to this, Chris. So Chris is like, dude, yeah, I'm making this. And Chris barely leaves work. He doesn't take off for his wife's own shit. So, you know. But no, that was great. But it was awesome seeing your shop in person, and I admire you and how.
Corn dog man?
Corn dog
You're a
man.
corn dog man. There were corn dogs at the wedding?
I don't know. I admire how organized you are and how you spin. You know, you got the skills obviously, but you're like, okay, I'm going to make this rack for this and that, and just keep things. But I love that. I love how organized things are.
My brain's broke. I can't even work unless things are perfect. It's
Right.
that's why, like, as soon as I get here, it's like I just want everything perfect so I can go to work, you know. And
The feng shui.
yeah, I'm weird.
Very OCD.
Yeah.
OCD. Yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
could say it's OCD,
Yeah.
but that's a good trait. Better than having shit scattered everywhere and it looks like a junkyard that you're working in, right? You know?
Yeah.
That's much better than my ADOS. My
He's
attention
ADD.
deficit. Ooh, shiny.
Oh. I was like, OS. I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a very hard time where I'll be in the middle of a project in the garage and I don't get to work on a lot of them and I have basically no skills. But like I'll be halfway through one and then somebody will say something and I'll be like, oh yeah, we need to go do that. And I'll come back and be like,
What were we?
shit, what was I doing here?
Yeah.
But if my OCD with the wrong seat doesn't allow that. So,
There you go.
yeah.
So, you've been in the shop there for what, 4 years? You finished it?
I feel like it's been about that
Yeah,
long.
Four or
that is
5
correct.
years?
Yeah, about 4 years.
So now that you've had the time there and it's a killer setup. I love how you got the doors that open up into the shop from your kitchen and you guys like to entertain and the whole thing. Is anything you would change or do differently for people like me that's getting ready to build a shop?
Well, I would definitely make it bigger.
Yeah, it's never
When you
big
think
enough,
it's-
right?
When you think I want to save some money, just make it bigger because you
Never-
do it once.
Right.
Electrical outlets and stuff like that, I'd probably do more, you know, things like that. Like there's dumb things we didn't think about, like Christmas lights and stuff. I didn't
Oh,
put
yeah, for the
little
eaves.
plugs for the eaves, which I should have done. And you know, there's just dumb things. And I've what do you call it, ad lib stuff. You know what
Sure.
I mean, it's not redneck, but it wasn't done when I built it, which bugs me. You know, it's like ugh. But just a lot of dumb things. Like I wasn't even gonna live in that. You know what I mean? It was going to be just a shop when I first designed it, and I was like, lived in that little cabin, which is cute and stuff, but it's not a home. And I was like, we need something, you know, that's a house and shop. And then she started coming up with ideas for stuff like we should do this, and I mean, it got elaborate and fun, and
Sure.
yeah. So
We need a bigger closet.
Oh, big
yeah.
closet, yeah.
Well, it was big. It was like 4 feet bigger, and then so I didn't know anything about AC and heat, and I figured, oh yeah, just no big deal. Well, when the AC and heat guy came, he goes, "You should really do 2 units, one upstairs and one downstairs. That way, you know, because it's gonna be nice downstairs all the time. Upstairs is gonna get hot."
Sure.
And I'm glad they talked me into that, but it ended up making me have to cut 4 feet of her closet out to put the handler or whatever you.
The return.
All the
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, air
and,
return, yeah.
and stuff like that in there, and so just, you know, things like that.
Little things.
Yeah,
Little things.
So you're building the shop house?
Yeah, well, not a shop house, just a shop. I've
Oh,
already got a
shop.
house.
Well, shop's easy.
I know, it's
Big,
easier.
and lots of electric and organization. You know, figure out whatever you're doing. I love my benches that I did on the walls. You know what I mean? If you're not a freak like me and keep things clean, it could be bad because they just get piled up with
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
which
Yeah,
mine
you
do
got a lot of
sometimes.
bench space.
But it's nice to just have all that when you're doing something to lay stuff on, and just depending on what kind of work you do.
Well, and I like how you incorporated your cutoff saw there, so you got your whole bench space to lay your material on,
Yep.
make your cuts, everyth's
I
laid out.
thought about it for nights, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I
I'd just
bet.
be like dreaming about it, and I'd draw little pictures, and yeah, I was a freak.
No, that's cool. That's some neat stuff.
And lots of big bright lights.
Lots of
Oh,
bright
yeah.
lights.
We actually brought some of them from
Oh,
the
yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
I lifted them up before we came on the forklift,
Yeah.
took those down, and now here they are in
There
this
you
tent.
go.
Yep.
That's sweet. Yeah, light. Yeah, you got to have good light. And you got tall ceilings in that thing.
Yeah, it's like 22 feet.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just, it makes it nice. I mean, it's a little more to heat or whatever, but I don't know. I love tall ceilings, and it just makes you feel.
Yeah.
Like you can breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got room to work.
Yeah.
You're not like moving bar
and then
stock
natural
around.
light. Like, I did glass doors, which I was like thinking, man, I'm never gonna be able to afford this and get it done. But all the glass letting natural light in, I love that.
You love cleaning them?
No, I don't. love that.
That would be. I didn't even think
a lot
about
of work.
cleaning those things.
I didn't think about that either. And yeah.
But it is so nice.
Big
Like
hole.
one of the, like forever, the shop that we had in Gilbert, it didn't get cold as it does where I'm at, but like in the winter you never would open the doors because it was cold, and so you don't ever see outside. And I would go in when it was dark and leave when it was dark, and it just ruins a person. You know what I mean? Like I love it. Just, you wouldn't believe how it changes your attitude when you're working, when you can just see out there and see all the trees and the whatever. You know what I mean? You can.
The deer and
It's
whatnot.
beautiful. Yeah, the deer.
Birds.
Yeah.
Squirrels.
Yeah.
I mean, I got all kinds of pets up there. But, so natural light, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love seeing different shops, but yours definitely stands out, and I love
thank
the
you.
the organization and everything.
Oh, for sure.
Super
no doubt.
cool.
One of the things you mentioned when we were at your wedding, we kind of had a moment to talk, and we talked about the high ceilings, and you said that you did that so you could also potentially have a second floor, like a mezzanine.
Yeah, and I've got my architect's, he's drawn some stuff, and we've looked at how I got to set beams in there and stuff, and my whole idea was, put a mezzanine over one side of the shop where I could do like a machine shop above it, and then I'll have low lighting in an area. And I haven't done that yet, but I'm kind of almost thinking I just want another shop to get everything out of that shop where we could park cars in do something similar next to it. And maybe
Then
do
you're
that
gonna need a
before
shop
I build the
for your shop.
mezzanine or
It's a
something.
shop for the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need one for my Christmas decorations.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
See,
Oh no, this is gonna be another
Here we
segment.
go.
this is called the snowball effect.
Well, not just Christmas. We celebrate every holiday.
Sure.
Like we're festive.
Yeah,
Sons of
very
bitches.
festive. Sons of
AF.
bitches. Festive AF.
Yeah. And
I mean, look at my fingernails.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got the checker flag. There you
Oh,
go. Yeah,
yeah.
I got the. That's
Christmas rolled
awesome.
around, and she just kept rolling in with all this stuff every day. She loves to decorate, and so one day I remember I was at a store and I seen some stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy her all this stuff. Maybe she won't buy anymore. And I literally got it home, and I decorated her patio and did all this stuff and put all this Christmas stuff out there, and looked like some kind of Christmas movie or something going on out there.
Hallmark Channel.
And I said, okay, honey, here, I got to show you this stuff. And what did you say? Oh, I got some stuff too. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I said I need you to come unload the trunk.
Yeah, she bought more stuff. I'm like, oh my
You're
god.
just feeding the fire.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to find a new shop to put Christmas stuff in.
My dad had to build my mom a Christmas shed for all the Christmas stuff. She had those Dickens Village, all the ceramic stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a big thing at our house too. It's cool though. Yeah, it's fun.
It is nice.
Especially if you like to entertain. You know.
Yeah, we do.
And that we do. Yep.
And so along those lines, cooking, I love to cook as well. So I did your version of machaca for this trip.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah.
How did it turn out?
Very good. We're gonna do it for breakfast. I don't know if tomorrow. The next day I'll do it.
Okay.
I have it all. I cooked it, vacuum packed it, and froze it. So
Awesome.
just heat it up in the morning with some eggs.
Yep.
Love
That's
that
one
stuff.
of my favorite meals, and her kids love it. Like we'll make that, and we'll eat it in tacos. We'll eat it with eggs.
Wrap it
Roll
as a burrito.
burrito. I mean, it's just one of them things that you.
And we brought some this trip too.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's good stuff. No, so keep the cooking stuff going for the YouTube channel. That's
Absolutely.
that's a whole nother aspect. I know you guys both like to cook and
You know, it's
eat
funny
and-
because a lot of people that do YouTube like you need to stay in your lane or whatever, and because I just like to do everything, you know, and
Sure.
film her cooking or whatever, or making something. And to me, I'm like, I don't care what people say. I'm just going to do what I want to do.
It's your channel.
That's right.
If you like it, you do. If not,
Like you said, fast forward it.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so easy. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to see him cooking eggs today.
Sure.
I'm going to go on to
Yeah.
the next segment.
But it's just my life. You know?
I was gonna
That's
say,
how it
it's-
started. This is my life.
It's an open book of your guys' life, and you share a lot, and it's cool for, especially with your background, and you know, a lot of people, obviously, like Chris was, you know, I mean, you're very humble as well, Chris, but it's just, it's cool. You throw it out there, and it's like, hey, this is me, and this is what I do. But you have a huge following out there, and to get a little glimpse inside your life where, you know, you think back when we were growing up, you know, unless you called or talked to, or they were a neighbor, you didn't know what this racer was doing, or this whoever celebrity, quote unquote, you know, was doing. And now you get to see the insight, and especially, you know, in our sport hobby, you know, that we do of off-roading, the fabrication side's huge.
Yeah.
And, you know, in this day and age of bolt-on and all that stuff, there's still a lot of guys doing it old school and building some really cool shit with not, you know, $1 million machines to crank it out. They're
I
doing
still feel that I could probably build something faster than someone with a computer and that sends stuff to laser, because one, it takes time to get it to them, and then you got to ship it and you got to wait, but most everything, I mean, I'm pretty fast at building things, and I just don't like dealing with people, so it's easier just to make it. It's like, God damn it, I'll just make that shit. Forget it. Click, hang up on them.
Yeah.
You know? Tell me it's going to take a month.
You reminded me a lot of my dad. He was the exact same way. He'd fabricate everything. It's just like, oh, Dad, you can go down to the store, but no, it's crap. I want to make it out of this way and do this, right?
My dad used to say, I can F it up 3 times before you can figure out how to do it once.
Oh, there you go. That's good. That's freaking awesome. Oh, gosh. Maines, you got anything over there? You're awfully
I've been
just
quiet
kind of
'cause
soaking it in.
Absolutely. I'm just reveling in the stories. I mean, Shannon, you're full of stories, and we want to keep coming back over and over again to hear more of your stories. And obviously, the two of you together and the whole YouTube channel is very awesome. I would like you to give a shout out to your sponsors. Anybody special you want to name out or on the show?
I have a lot. I mean, I don't even know if I could remember.
The panels aren't on the side of the car to look at. That's what usually
I can tell you. You know what I mean? Monster's my main sponsor. Nitto. There's so many people that help me.
Warren.
ADS
Shocks.
So,
RCV,
yeah.
Gear, AMSOIL,
I switched from Fox, and everybody was just blown away. You know what I mean? I was with them for like 25 years, and I just wasn't getting the service out of them. I just felt like a redheaded stepchild over there. And one day I called ADS to order some shocks for a customer of mine that needed some stuff right away, and Fox, they didn't have the time of day to even talk to me about it. And I called them, and a friend of mine actually owned ADS, you know, and he had been trying to get me to switch for years, and I was like, no, I'm pretty, you know, I don't burn bridges and leave.
Loyalty.
I've been with them forever. It's a thing.
Right.
And the guy that I was talking to on the phone at ADS, he's like, well, how come you don't call Fox? And I said, it's a long story. I said, I need something fast. They don't have the time to deal with me, and it's really gotten bad. And he says, well, can we talk? And I was like, yeah, you make me an offer. I said, you know, and I didn't think it would turn into anything. And then I didn't even know that my friend didn't own the company no more. He'd sold it to Holly.
Oh, wow.
Steve Cooker had owned it, and he
Right.
sold it to Holly. And I wasn't talking to him. I was just talking to an employee, and it ended up just working out in my favor. You know, when I made the switch, I was blown away at the quality of the product, for one, the service that I got for two, and just, you know, it was a company that was wanting to be the best, not just, you know, Fox has been around forever. They have marketing out the yin-yang, you know,
Right.
so they sell stuff whether it's good or bad, you know, and to
Right.
me, I feel like it's a bunch of Chinese crap before I left or whatever. I won't talk too much about that, but
Love it.
these guys are just good people, you know what I mean? And so I felt like I was back at home with someone that wanted to make a family, and I've been with them for 2 years now, and it's growing and it's opened more doors, and I just feel really good about it all. So yeah, ADS and Holly and all the different companies that they own. Mike Hamrick from Wheelwood. There's so many things. Just you can't even imagine. Vision Wheels, one of my new partners last year. I switched to them, and I've been really happy with everything that they do. They make nice product, and I'm just very fortunate to have good people behind me. I'm lucky.
Yeah. Well, you create your own luck, Shannon.
I don't know. I wish I could hit the luck button for Friday or Saturday.
There you go.
Creating it. I'm going to turn it up a notch.
Up to 11.
It's like part-time skill or part skill, part luck, and part, karma or just prayer. I don't know. But I think, we're all excited for you and you with this partnership.
Yeah, I'm really excited with this partnership here, too.
I think this is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the podium come Saturday. It's going to be sweet.
I can't wait. I work hard to be the best. I mean, the last few years have I've just kind of been not feeling like myself or whatever, but usually people, you get all these interviews every year. What's your favorite part about KOH, and you can only say the same thing like so many times. I mean, in the beginning I was really amped and excited about it. Well, the last few years it's just been kind of like drug out. You feel like it's just you put your whole life into it and everything's failing or something like that, and it was crazy. And to tell you the truth, this year is like the first year in a long time I've been excited just to be here. And usually they'd be the last few years, what's your favorite part about KOH? I said, when I leave for Valentine's Day.
That's right. You got something to look forward to after the Lake Bend.
But, this year, I can't wait till race day, and I just pray to God that everything stays together and works, and, yeah, I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
Well, the race
and I'm
is
excited
on.
for Valentine's
Yeah, there you go. Double excited.
But, yeah, I'm going to get my job done, and we're gonna go celebrate.
There you go.
Sweet.
Go for that fourth KOH win.
The race is on. Who's going to be the
That's
first
it. That's
four-time
right.
king?
I mean, that's like.
Oh, you guys have to be careful with that because we have a 4-time king. He's just a 4-time king.
I know. He's been in
We
the car
need a
4
first-
times.
We need a first driver.
Right.
That's won 4 times.
Right,
Because
there you
Randy
go.
Slauson was and is the current 4-time king.
Yeah.
Right.
3 times driving, 1 time navigating.
Correct.
So,
All right.
Wait,
gonna-
navigating?
Yeah.
So Randy raced with JR the year that he won the OG.
The first year.
Yeah, the first year.
The first
Oh,
year.
well.
He was in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that doesn't
us
count.
navigators, we don't count.
I mean, that's like
we don't count.
That's like when they said Casey Curry was the 1 seat or the 2 seat king or whatever.
The single
it was,
seat,
or
the single
whatever.
seat king.
Yeah, I can't
Hammer.
remember what it was.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I can't remember.
You
what
can
it
spin it any way you want, but
Yeah.
you just shore that up on Saturday, and there it is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right?
That's absolutely the goal.
That's
is
right.
to get him onto the top.
Yeah, I love as a spectator and a fan of the sport. It's so much fun watching, you guys, these top teams just freaking battling it out on the track, and it's exciting. It's
And you know what's
freaking
funny
electric.
is it's like we're not battling each other. We're battling ourselves. I mean, that's it's so intense.
and the
that we're-
course, yeah. I mean, this place is insane.
We're fighting ourselves. Seriously.
Yeah, 100%. It's it's awesome to see where this thing's gone over the years.
Yeah.
In this whole sport. What's in the future, Shannon? What are you thinking? You got any?
I mean, until my sponsors quit sponsoring me, I plan on racing.
You're
going to
race till you can't turn that wheel anymore,
Yeah.
huh?
I might have to step it up a notch with Chris. You know what I mean? When I do go completely blind, we'll get a stick for the front of the car or something. You know what I mean? And he can be like have some kind of system where we can get through the course, without sight.
We'll get him some electric shock collars for his left wrist and his right wrist, and I'll say left shock.
But yeah, no, I love doing this stuff. I mean, can't wait to just get back into. We're gonna get back into some wheeling stuff this year.
Okay, cool.
And build something.
The fun stuff.
Yeah, and I want to start doing a little bit more of that. I mean, I love racing. I don't care to go do no series. You know what I mean? A lot of these races, it seems like there's just not the turnout. And to me, racing isn't racing unless all the best of the best are there, like it is here. You know what I mean? That's a race.
Yep.
I love Crandon short course. I love going up to Prairie City and racing up there just because it's a good turnout usually, you know what I mean? And that was one of my favorite races too, up there with Goodby and them. You know, they would, I don't remember how many, they qualify, you know, you'd have 100-something cars and they'd only qualify 25 for that little main event.
You had to fight.
That's a dogfight, and that's, to me, that's some serious racing, you know, when you got to fight to get in, and, you know, that's the best.
That's cool.
And that's best for the spectators too.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly. It's like
great.
you're getting what you paid for, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on, one of the things that absolutely boggled my mind about Shannon this year is if you guys see the backside of that poster that's hanging up, it's got 20, 35
Oh, the
pictures
crew.
on it.
Yeah, you got your crew there.
He's got the whole crew on it. And if it wasn't for it, ADS and Holly and all those guys could throw money at everything, and Shannon could build the most awesome car, but if it wasn't for that crew, if it wasn't for the volunteers that are out here hosting the event, I'm fortunate enough that my wife is staying at home watching my two daughters while I get to come out here and do cool race car shit. And so if it wasn't for a lot of those back of the scene people that don't get any FaceTime ever, we wouldn't be able to do any of this.
Oh,
Right.
for sure.
And so I want to make sure that every single one of those people understand how much we appreciate them.
Yeah.
And so it's so freaking cool that Shannon did that. And I am absolutely just honored that he did that. And I'm even a small part of that poster.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah. Oh, you any more sponsors on there you want to say?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So, Jess, well, you got the mic. So, talk about, you guys go out on these side-by-side runs and have these weekend events and stuff. And I know you guys kind of alluded to it before, but you kind of talked about maybe hosting some runs. Are you guys still thinking about doing that, or some events, or
I don't know. I think it's a lot more fun just to get our friends together.
just get people together and go?
We have thought about doing the whole, rental thing, tour thing. But I think there's just so much involved with that we don't really want any part
You're
of.
like,
The
nah.
liability, the insurance.
Yeah, that's where it
things
starts
of that
getting-
nature. And honestly, and that is some of the most fun for us, or for me anyway, are some of those side-by-side runs that we do each year around his birthday. Actually, in the spring, we do a side-by-side ride down to this little town called Young. It's literally like a one-horse town, but it is beautiful. The water's flowing, the flowers are blooming, and we've got a bunch of just our great friends enjoying the time with us. And we do a lot of the same things, but we find a lot of new things each time we go,
That's
even
cool.
though we've been going year after year.
Does he ever let you drive?
Absolutely, he
Okay,
does.
right
Oh,
on.
yes.
Right on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he keeps trying to tell me I'm going to get behind that race car wheel, but I don't know. I definitely will not do it with him in the wrong seat.
Okay.
Because driving down the highway with him in the passenger seat is a pain in my ass. He's like, hey, you see that truck up there, right? And I'm like, no, actually, I don't. What are you talking about? And it's like,
Not a good passenger.
no, he's not. I'm like, just shut up already. I'm like, God, do you want to drive? And he's like, no. I'm like, then go to sleep. Okay. I do speed, and I might drive just as crazy as
Do
him.
you guys UTV ride?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. In the spring
just
when we
started.
plan this, you guys might have to
Come on out.
come out. I mean,
Okay.
Absolutely.
it's one of the most. In the spring, we get all these little areas. The water's flowing, and there's beautiful waterfalls. We'll drive up a creek to the head of this one deal, and it's usually a beautiful waterfall. And I don't know if it's going to be good this year though, because we haven't got no
we haven't
snow.
had any snow, right? Because it's all the runoff.
Yeah.
of course, and-
But it just is, I don't like driving down dirt roads. There's a few dirt roads we drive on, but most of them are just like 2-track, or even, we just make a road or whatever, and we'll go out with a handful of friends and have a good time, and then we roll back into town, and it's literally like the podunkus little town, and there's one bar, and I remember as a kid going in there, my dad and his friends, and we knew the owner, and he just recently passed a couple years ago. But his son's there, and it's just it's called Merle's Tavern. Yeah, and
Oh,
we'll
that's
go in
cool.
there, and I mean, it's like you take a step back in time, and you just kind of forget about everything, and we go there quite a bit, even by ourselves. I remember one year I don't even remember what time of year it was, but we were driving and
Cut.
I remember we're out in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of
We were skinny dipping and swimming, and we jumped in the dang UTV, and we drove the rest of the dang trail naked. I don't know, to whatever. I mean, but we were by ourselves this time, and we were just.
It was so much fun.
We get to drinking and having fun by ourselves. I mean, we're like little kids out in the middle
You're
of
enjoying
nowhere.
life, man.
Yeah, it's fun, and
That
that's
was a
one of the
fun
things
trip.
I really enjoy about her. She's just does it. I mean,
Spontaneous.
It's always just something fun and new, and yeah,
Hell yeah.
Crazy as him.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. No, it's fun. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep speaking for the fans. We're enjoying your YouTube channel and getting that insight and the all the social media stuff and getting to see how cool, how
Thank
much fun you guys are having, and
We're having fun.
and that's what it's about. I mean, you
Living your
just
best
talk.
life.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we're not here forever, and you guys are making the most of it, and I admire people that do that. I try to do the same thing within my limits, but I'm not driving around in my UTV naked, but
Well, you should try it once.
Moved to Arizona to do that.
I was gonna say yet you haven't been on their trip.
That's true. That's true. I might have to think twice about going on
Right?
this trip.
Clothing optional.
Do that with our friends.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
He does wear his friend's underwear, though.
Oh boy, that's another story. Oh, here we
That's
go.
on the YouTube. That's on YouTube. Okay, not him wearing the underwear, but the story of the underwear. It happened out here just a couple nights ago.
Oh shit!
So-
See, I haven't caught up from
Yep,
your
when
ones
you
you released
catch up,
on the lake
it'll
bed.
be there.
Don't worry,
Yep,
you'll
it'll be
catch
there.
up. You'll catch up on Shannon wearing somebody else's underwear and Jess rinsing and washing an aluminum disposable pan.
Oh yes. That was an accident,
Well, you're on the lake bed. You gotta use your stuff, man.
including your friend's
That's-
underwear.
That's hilarious. That's freaking great.
Yeah, wait until you see that one. It is pretty funny.
Okay. Well,
I'm not gonna give it all away.
No,
so.
I got the Starlink. That might be my nighttime viewing
Yep,
tonight.
absolutely.
Okay.
So speaking of that, why don't you steer our listeners to what the name of the YouTube channel is?
Shannon Campbell Unleashed.
Shannon
Yep, you'll
Campbell
find him there. So make sure while you're on there, you're subscribed, please. That's very important.
You
It
need
helps
that
our
subscribe
content.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
button pressed.
and turn those notifications on when you're subscribed. You want to make sure you hit that bell, ring the bell, so you're notified of any time our content posts or he goes live, especially out here from the lake bed if you're following along, because we're hoping to be live streaming on race day.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Shannon's like, whatever. I'm just driving.
He's like, yeah, just press the button. I don't know. No.
Live streaming YouTube is easier than editing.
Right. Right. That's true. That's true.
He did
Chris
figure
gonna
out
have
how
a-
to fix it when we were out there parked on qualifying. Today,
I
so-
know. I gave him a quick crash course, and I was surprised at how quickly he learned to open that app and hit the live stream button.
That's
it's really
cool.
just a
That's
few
cool.
clicks. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Stretching my mind.
it's
I like to keep. I'm a focused person. I like to keep you on my mind, and the rest of it's just garbage.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, so much. Thanks for your time. I know you guys were kicking back here watching TV, and you could have blown us off, but appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you for coming and talking to us.
This is great. Your tent's quiet right now. This is an unusual time,
Right.
Sunday night.
Yes.
I know it's going to be hopping every night from now on, but yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate what you do and taking the time to sit down and chat with us.
Heck
Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll check into this right before spring and see if this is going to be a good year. And if it is, I'll give you guys a heads up if you want to come ride and hang out. And
yeah, come stay in the cabin.
That'd be
Our
fun. That is
Airbnb,
a
stay with
cool
us,
cabin.
And
Hell yeah.
and then come do the ride. That would
Yeah.
be awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm down.
Yeah, do that. I got my cab over camper. I can just park in one spot too. Whatever.
Absolutely.
Keep it easy. And then Chris, how do we get a hold of you? We've talked. You got some new swag too that you've been sharing stickers and stuff with.
Yeah, my
Ultra 4
my
Escort.
wife actually contracted my dad's girlfriend to make this cool little sticker of me. in my fire suit. And so you can find me on Instagram, Ultra 4 Escort. Facebook is Christopher Ray, REA. You're going to pronounce it wrong after you see it spelled.
Rhea.
Yeah, Rhea.
Your driver did that.
So, but yeah, and then a guy by the name of Peter, he runs a company called Bearded Stitch, actually took the logo and made me a hat and 2 sweatshirts. And so it's really cool to actually, I don't ever think I'm important at all because we talked about it, right?
Right.
It's only a 3-time king because nobody cares about the wrong seater.
Yeah.
Well, you are, don't be getting hurt.
Yeah. So no
flat tires.
But it's that one was my fault. I didn't call it. But to have somebody make me a sweatshirt just with something of me is like it's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
It is.
So, but yeah, if anybody has any navigating questions of any kind, the only messages that bug me are the ones that I don't respond to. So if you send me something and I responded, then you didn't bug me.
There you
and
go.
If I didn't respond, it's probably because I didn't actually see it.
Oh, okay.
Because I literally will respond to anything pretty much at any time.
That's cool.
So,
That's great.
And one thing I've learned out here is the only dumb question is the one that doesn't get asked. And the moment you stop learning is the moment that you start dying. So ask me
Well
and I'll
said.
help in any form or fashion that I can.
Well said.
Truth.
No, that's super cool.
Sure.
Excited for this team here. And
Love the Hammers.
looking forward to Saturday. And qualifying Power Hour. Obviously, Shannon's in Power Hour on Wednesday. So, yeah, it's good stuff. All right, Chris, with that,
We're out.